Iron Fist Season 2 is here. So what are people saying about this series? Should you check it out? Well, we are breaking all of that down right here. This is the Nerdy News Rundown. Let's get you filled in. Guys, it's Friday, and as tradition dictates here on the Den of Nerds, every Friday we pull a random person that liked and shared one of these videos to win one of these mugs. This week's winner was Leroy Bartel, who shared this on Twitter. Thank you so much, Leroy. Hit me up with your details, and I will ship you out one of these mugs. Oh, and real quick, while I'm on the topic of these mugs, I have recently updated the merchandise store for the Den of Nerds. That's right, we actually have merch now, and there's going to be a little thing that pops up here to take you to it, and there will be another link on the end of this video. You can purchase one of these mugs. You don't have to wait to win one. And there's a bunch of cool shirts, including a few Raylo ones, a Douchebaggery is the Path to the Dark Side shirt, and my personal favorite, the Nerd Defined shirt. So check that out. Maybe you'll find something you like. Rep the channel, support the channel. It's all good. All right, so let's get right into this. If you are anything like me, then you've been loving the Marvel Netflix shows, although to be fair, they have sort of fallen off a bit. I think both seasons of Daredevil are terrific. I thought season 1 of Jessica Jones was absolutely incredible. Must-watch television if you have not seen it. But other than that, there's been a lot of hit or miss shows that the Netflix Marvel Universe has put out. The absolute worst of all of the Marvel Netflix was, of course, Iron Fist Season 1. I thought that that season was absolutely terrible. I did several videos about it when it came out last year. There are some people that like the show. Totally cool. I thought it was garbage. And a lot of people agreed with me online. The consensus was that that show was not very good. So people were excited to see what kind of changes would be made for Iron Fist Season 2. Of course, the whole production team and everybody behind Marvel Netflix must be aware of how it was received, and we expected a lot of improvement. So there's a lot of reviews out there. The show dropped today, and I want to give you an idea of what people are saying so that you can know whether or not to check it out. As of the time of me recording this video, it stands at 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. Apparently, it is still considered rotten at that score, which, I mean, it must be on that line. I'm not really sure how that all works. But, you know, my thing about Rotten Tomatoes is it's not so much the score, but what are the actual reviewers saying about the show itself? And so I went on a deep dive. I looked at all 22 reviews that were up at the time, and I went in and tried to figure out what exactly people were saying, and I'm going to bring that all to you right now. First thing I want to note here is that every single person admits that this is a vast improvement on Season 1. A lot of the negative reviews, even though they pooped all over the show, did admit that the show is an improvement over Season 1. That's really good to hear unanimously across the board. I think people are saying that this show is an improvement over Iron Fist Season 1, although to be fair, it wouldn't be that hard to improve upon that first season. That thing was awful. Next thing I wanted to point out, and take this for what it is, but some of the negative reviews are actually referring to peripheral things when casting a negative light on the show. And here's what I mean. There was a controversy surrounding Iron Fist Season 1 about them casting Finn Jones, who is of course a white male, to play Danny Rand. A lot of people argued that this is sort of cultural appropriation. They should have hired and cast an Asian actor to play Danny Rand. Personally, where I stood on that is like, Danny's white in the comics. That's just how it was in the comics, so I thought it was accurate. And I'm not even one of those guys that gets mad when they race change characters for live action, television, or movies from the source material. I really don't care, but I did think that was kind of an absurd point to bring up. There are some people reviewing Iron Fist Season 2 somehow still holding that against the show. Also, there are some people saying that like Finn Jones is just really not that good as a lead, and that they should shift the show to be the Daughters of the Dragon with Colleen Wing and Misty Knight. Now, here's the thing. I kind of agree. I don't think Finn Jones is that great in the lead. I'd much prefer a Daughters of the Dragon show. I think Colleen Wing is amazing. I particularly really love the performance that we get from the character of Misty Knight, but I think it's totally unfair to kind of use that as a way to cast negative light on Iron Fist. So check out the negative reviews yourself and let me know what you think, but honestly, I don't know. I just needed to bring that up. Another thing that almost everybody is saying, whether they're on the positive or the negative side, is that the combat, while improved, is still really sloppy. It really doesn't feel as good as it should. This is the master of Kung Fu. I mean, Iron Fist should be a straight Kung Fu series. When I first envisioned what the show would look like, I thought of like literally the old Kung Fu show combined with Daredevil, and I got all excited. So although the combat is improved, even people that are positive on the show are saying that it's not quite where it should be. So take that for what it is. There are also a couple notable changes to the formatting of the show that I want to bring to light to inform you so that you know whether or not you want to check it out. Number one, and I think most importantly, they shrunk the season down to 10 episodes. It would appear that Netflix and Marvel Television did listen to fans that said there's just way too many episodes and it's really slow burn and the pacing is really whack in that first season. So they condensed the season, which does help the pacing, although, and this kind of goes back to my other points, apparently the pacing is still an issue in the show, but I think the 10 episode run likely helps that out a lot. Number two, Colleen Wing does get a lot more screen time in this season. She's almost like a co-protagonist or co-star of the show. So she has a lot of screen time just herself in the series. I think this does nothing but help that show as she's a terrific actress. And honestly, I just really like that character a lot. So I think my final consensus, and I've only seen a couple of the episodes, so I can't actually give you my full review on it, but my consensus is that this is an improvement on season one. If you are a hardcore Marvel fan or a hardcore Iron Fist fan, you will likely find a lot to love in this series. However, I honestly do not think it's going to reach to the heights of the other great series that we have out there. For me, mostly Jessica Jones season 1 and both seasons of Daredevil, but particularly season 1. So that's kind of where I stand on it. I think it's worth a watch if there's not too much other stuff in your queue that you're looking forward to, but you know, maybe skippable or skimmable if there's other stuff you're really excited to watch. So that is where my head is at it. Doesn't make sense. That's where my head is at with it. So that's gonna do it for the Friday show. You made it through another work week, everybody. Congratulations to you. Make sure you go check out the merch. There's some really cool stuff out there. It does support the channel directly. Like I said, you can get one of these mugs. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.